to solve the equation 3x squared plus 6x minus 1 equals 0. And we're going to choose to do this via the quadratic formula. So the way I like to set these up is looking at the leading coefficient, the coefficient in front of x squared. I like to say that a equals 3, and then the coefficient to the x is the b, call that 6, and then the constant term including its sign, which is negative this time, is your c. So you get a equals 3, b equals 6, and c equals negative 1. After these, you can calculate what's called the discriminant, but here, since we are just talking about the actual quadratic formula, I'll just abbreviate it by d, which leads naturally after a, b, and c anyway. And d is defined to be b squared minus 4ac. So those who know the quadratic formula, this is the piece underneath the radical. So substituting in the values that we found above anyway, we get 6 squared minus 4 times 3 times negative 1. 6 squared is 36, and then you get, let's see, minus a negative, so it's going to end up being a plus, and 4 times 3 times 12 is, or 4 times 3 is 12, times 1 is also 12, and so we get 48. Now, also at this stage, since it's going to go underneath a radical, I also like to break this down right now. So I'm going to break down the 48 into a, let's see, a 6 and an 8, and then the 6 into a 3 and a 2, and the 8 into a 2 and a 4, and a 4 into a 2 and a 2. This allows me to find these little pairs that are going to eventually come out when I do the radical anyway. So this is, if you've seen my other videos, this is my simplification of radical technique. So now, for the final answers, we can take what we've located over here and say that the answers according to the quadratic formula are x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of 48. Because I reduced it here, I can see a 2 and a 2 escaping, which is a 4, radical whatever's left over, which is a 3, and that's all over 2 times a, and 2 times 3 right here is 6. Notice also that there's a common factor of 2 that can come out of here to make it a 3, out of here to make it a 2, and out of here to make this a 3. So our actual two final answers we would give here would be negative 3 plus 2 rad 3 over 3, and we'd also have negative 3 minus 2 rad 3 over 3. And those would be the two answers. So pause the video, try this one on your own. You don't have to do the exact same process I did, but if you did choose to do that, here's how it would have turned out. A equals 9, B equals 4, C equals negative 2, D would be equal to B squared minus 4 times A times C. So you get a 16, and there's a 36 times a 2, so that's a 72, and therefore we have 88. 88 breaks down into 8 times 11 with a 4 times a 2 and a 2 times a 2. So I can see my 2's. So therefore the final answer should be x equals negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 88, but we get a 2 that breaks out and a 22 left over, all over 2 times a, which is over 18. Again, just a little bit of friendly simplification. 2 and 4 and 18 all have a common factor of 2, so the final answers you would be submitting would be something like negative 2 plus rad 22 over 9 and negative 2 minus rad 22 all over 9.